Hail to the king, baby.
What is going on, guys? It's Michael B, and this is the 249th episode of Chill and Chat with Michael B. Can you believe it? I've been doing this a long time, a really long time. Tonight, we got a really special show because just a couple days ago on October 18th, it was actually the 40th anniversary or 40th birthday of the Nintendo Entertainment System. So I wanted to take a look back at the Nintendo Entertainment System, the system that got me into gaming. I wouldn't be here without this system. I covered it for many years on YouTube. And I'm going to be honest, my friends at Arcades Anonymous did a show last week talking about it that kind of riled me up. So I decided I was going to bring on a Nintendo expert to discuss the Nintendo Entertainment System with me and see if we can do a little bit better job than Arcades Anonymous did last week. I'll love Arcades Anonymous. I'll love. Anyways, on top of that, I do have some home arcade news I wanted to share with you as well. Of course, AtGames did release the Elvira Pinball packs today after a very long wait. Let's see if we think they're any good, if you should pick them up, and what's the deal with the price increase from $10 to $15 for these pinball packs. On top of that, we got a little bit more news on the AtGames Legends Pinball HD TMNT version. This is some news I covered on Super Game Room Dudes, but assuming not everybody watches Super Game Room Dudes, I decided I wanted to cover it here just so you know all the information you need to know to make an informed purchase on the AtGames Legends Pinball TMNT HD Pinball. I don't know if the second P stands for pinball, but I'll keep saying it because it's funny to me. And then last but not least, we did get a episode of, not an episode, but we did get a video from Iconic Arcade finally showing the build of their upcoming Street Fighter XT machine. We're going to take a look at that. And I want to give a huge thank you to my buddy 19K Fox for covering this last night because he identified some issues. So I want to go over those issues with you guys, tell you my opinion, and ask the question, did this video that they showed of the build make you feel more comfortable about your pre-orders, or did it just raise more questions? All right, guys. So anyways, it's Monday. You know what that means. I'm going to bring in my guest. And, oh, Garage Gamer, get out of here with your shit. Oh, well, you know, to be honest, I was worried that the Jays would get swept. But, I was very surprised by the first game. I'm not gonna lose all hope. I mean, that LA Dodgers is a powerhouse team. It's like the Yankees back in the early 2000s, luxury tax team, tons of money, tons of players. So we'll see if our budget Blue Jays can get some jobs done on them. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight, he's a fellow wrestling fan and fellow NES fan. Two big reasons I wanted to have him on, because he may actually stick around for the Double Down, which we'll talk about in a second, which is wrestling related. But ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the bad guy, Mike Worley. Mike, how the hell are you?
What's going on, Mike? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, I could think of nobody else. I think actually I reached out to you during Arcades Anonymous when they were going through their lists and said,
That's
this
right,
is
you
horrible.
did. And I meant to get back to you over the weekend. I forgot. We actually had a night out. We had a babysitter Saturday night. It was nice. Me and the wife got to go out and have a few beverages, and I got a little carried away. So I was having a little bit of a rough time yesterday. It's all good.
I haven't been hungover in a while, just because, well, probably on my last work trip I did have a couple pops, but nothing serious. I don't partake in any of that stuff when I'm home with my kids. I'm weird that way. So like, it was my birthday on Saturday, and we went out for dinner. My wife was like, "Do you want to have like beers or something?" And I was like, "Nah, there's no point.
It's no
Can't let
fun
the
you
lion
order to
halfway
get.
out of the cage." Yeah. All right, man. So tonight I brought you on specifically because of all the people I know in the arcade community. You're probably the closest to me in your love for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So the NES turns 40 on October 18th. That's the date that the Nintendo Entertainment System was originally released in North America. So just a couple days ago, I just turned 45. So I'm 5 years ahead of it, but the NES finally came out. We've had 40 years of this console. So I wanted to take a look back on some of our fondest memories, like maybe what was our first game, what's our favorite game, talk about maybe our top five, and some of our best memories is basically the idea. But before I do that, I did want to bring up Arcades Anonymous, because really, they're the culprits behind this. If it wasn't for Arcades Anonymous, we probably wouldn't be talking about this tonight. So, guys, do me a favor. If you've never done it before, go check out my buddies at Arcades Anonymous. They run a fantastic show every Wednesday night. Really super positive. Great group of guys. Well, except for Garage Gamer. But great group of guys. Fun stuff. They actually did this show on Wednesday. Oh, and my arch nemesis, Multi-Cape Matt, is there as well. So anyways, these guys did their list of their top 5 NES games, and I had a little bit of fun with it because I was giving them a hard time because there were some eclectic choices. But that's the thing about top 10 lists and top 5 lists. Whenever you do them, a lot of it's opinion. So, I mean, everybody's opinion is opinion. It's not necessarily fact. Everybody likes different stuff. Like, I watched Jay's list here, and I felt it was a little bit more grounded than G.I. Joel's. I gave G.I. Joel a really, really hard time about his because he added like some new games in there, like one that was on the Evercade recently and everything. Gamer Fridge actually put in like double dribble. I was like, double dribble.
And volleyball, Super Spike Volleyball, I think was one of his titles, if I'm not mistaken. It was, it was definitely different.
It looks, Brooklyn, you almost got on this show tonight, brother. I'm not joking. And good to see you, Mike of All Trades. I forgot to do the shout outs, but we'll get to those a little bit later in the show, guys. So I apologize. Anyways, I did want to say, go check out them. They each did their top 5 list. I unfortunately missed Stock Jocks, and Stock Jock has been writing me nonstop, asking me to go check out his list to try to save face for Arcades Anonymous. He says his list was solid. Did you see his list? What was his list, Mike?
I did. I remember he had Duck Hunt on his list. He had a couple, he had a couple of older ones. I want to say maybe he might have had Excite Bike, which is another great one. And he had the original Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the other two.
Jeez.
Yeah, he was going old school. He was like launch title games.
Well, that's the funny thing about Stock Jock. You guys do a show on Saturdays. I think it's like noon my time.
Correct.
It's like 10:30 Eastern.
10 o'clock Eastern. Yep.
10 o'clock Eastern, so 11:30 my time, called Nostalgia Strikes Back. And I love watching it. For some reason, it said I wasn't subscribed to you because I tried to comment last week and it was like, you have to be subscribed. And I'm like, I am subscribed. What the hell is going on there? So I resubscribed. I'll be there next week.
Well, thank you.
Anyways, it's on your channel though, right?
It is, correct. Yes, it is on my channel.
But I love watching it because you guys will be talking about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff from the 90s. And then Stock Jock is like, hey, do you remember when they first had those moving pictures? There's such an age gap, right? But it's still absolutely friggin' awesome. Great show.
But that's kind of the beauty of it. And that's why I'm happy the Stock Jock wanted to join me, because we do have a few different perspectives, because we also, one of the panel members is his son, who is in his late 20s. So we kind of have we have opinions coming from all different age ranges, and and then there's me and Israel Gaming that are stuck in the middle, in our early 40s. So yeah, it's kind of cool to get different perspectives from people of different age.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it. All quality people on the show. It's yourself, Israel, Stock Jock, and Stock Jock's kid. First, I didn't know who it was, and then Stock Jock was like, "That's my son." I was like, "Oh my god, seriously?"
Yeah, he's not really a YouTuber, but he's a nerd at heart like the rest of us, and he's very knowledgeable.
Well, good stuff, man. Awesome show. So reason I wanted to do this tonight is I took massive offense to their show.
Who do they think they are? Like,
who do they think they are? But before we get into like talking about what our top fives is or our favorite games, how did you get into the original Nintendo Entertainment System? Like, Mike, are you around my age? I was born in the like 80 on the dot, so I'm still a Gen Xer. Are you like younger, older? Where do you range?
I will be 42 in the first week of December.
So just a little bit younger. And the NES, was that your first like console, video game console at home?
So we had an Atari 2600. When I was really young. It was my dad's. We had the Black Vader edition. So that's what got me into video games, playing games like River Raid and Sequest and things like that. And yeah, when the NES comes out, when it came out, it was just kind of like a natural jump. And when you started getting into games like Super Mario Brothers and things like that, when you're used to the Atari 2600, it was almost mind-blowing. And so I think we got our NES, and we were a little bit late to the game. I think we got it in around maybe 1989. So I would have been about 6 years old. And yeah, and it started, but all my friends had it, and I was just starting kindergarten, and it was kind of like, okay, we have to get this thing because I never want to play the Atari 2600 ever again. So yeah, it started there, man, right when I was 6 years old.
Yeah, I got a similar story. I was 7 when we got ours, and it's funny. I had a really close friend here in the neighborhood who also had an October birthday. His birthday was like October 10th or something like that, and that was the thing. We were both getting the Nintendo Entertainment System for our birthday, so I was really jealous because his birthday was first. So we went to his birthday party at his house, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so jealous. He's going to get a Nintendo." And then I showed up for the birthday party, and he got it. But it wasn't a Nintendo; it was an Atari 2600.
Oh, no.
They actually sideways him and got him a Atari 2600. So I remember there being playing Pac-Man was the game he had for it. We all sat around like this little room in his house and played Pac-Man on the old school wood TV on the floor, and that was pretty cool. Then a couple of weeks later, I got my NES, and his parents took back his Atari and bought him a Nintendo as well. So even though he was supposed to get it first, he ended up getting it second because his parents, mixed up. But yeah, that was it. I was 7 years old when I first got my NES. And what was your first game you ever got for your console? The first game you ever played on the NES?
So we had the action set, I think. Is that what it was? With
you got a game with
NES
yours.
Zapper. Yeah, so it came with the Zapper and the Super Mario Duck Hunt combo cartridge. So that would have been technically the first game that we owned for the console.
So you went right for the original. I actually never owned the original Super Mario Brothers until much later in life. That's the funny thing. I got the control set. My dad, who was a bit of a jerk sometimes, he didn't want me to play video games, like was totally against it. So he made me save up my allowance for like half a year. And I used my allowance to buy my own birthday present to buy the Nintendo. That's the only way he would let me get it. And
makes
then
you appreciate it more.
Yeah, it makes me appreciate it more. And we got the control set, which is just the console with one controller, and there was no game. So then I had my birthday party. We couldn't play NES because I didn't have any games. Didn't have any games, but I got birthday money from people, and then I went out and I got my first game, which was Super Mario Brothers 2. So for a long period of time, that's the only game I had for my NES to play. That's where I started with the Doki Doki Panic, which you have to say if you're a Nintendo YouTuber, you have to classify it. It's not really Mario, right?
Right. Yep.
So I started with Doki Doki Panic, and then he wouldn't let me play it on the normal TV we had because he had heard about burn-in on the TV. Oh, yeah. So he set it up in our unfinished basement on a 13-inch black and white TV. So not exactly the best intro.
That was exactly. We had the same thing, and that must have been a thing from the parents back then, because we would get yelled at if you paused the game and walked out of the room. Oh no, that was a big no-no, because it was going to burn into the screen. So we ended up getting a little 13-inch black and white TV to play it on.
And it was cold in the basement too. It was cold. It was scary. There were no walls. There was this tool set on the other side. I was terrified. Like eventually they ended up like doing it up nicely, and we ended up getting like a 20-inch color TV eventually down in that basement. But that first year with the black and white TV was not so great. But I was just so happy to have Super Mario Brothers 2, and like still to this day, even though it's not the original Mario, I would still say it's in my top 10 games.
To me,
I love the mechanics, everything.
Yes. Yeah, to me it is. It's in my top 10 as well. And I know there's a lot of hate for that game, but I think I had mentioned this the other night, but that was the very first game that I had ever bought with my own money, which would have been the second game in my collection.
Yeah.
I think it was my birthday. I had birthday money. We got the NES in the summer. We ended up going out in that winter. I want to say it was probably 89, I think. So it was about a year after release. And I wanted that game. Everybody, I read it in Nintendo Power and all that, and I'm like, I need to get the sequel. So yeah, that game's definitely, it would be in my top 10.
I'm starting to think Bill is much older than I thought he was. I worked at KB Toys when Super Mario Brothers 2 came out. Bill, are you a senior citizen? I didn't.
I was one of those people in that line.
Yeah. So anyways, Super Mario Brothers 2 for me was the first game, and that was my first experience. Then we had our first Christmas, and I ended up getting that very first Christmas after my birthday. I ended up getting what ended up being my favorite Nintendo game of all time, still to this day, has never changed. Nothing's ever knocked it off the list, and this is going to be super controversial. But my favorite game, my rainy day game, the game that I play when I'm feeling bad, or the game when I just want to have a good time, I'll throw on, it's Mega Man 2. I got it that Christmas.
I wouldn't say that's too controversial. I mean, that one's pretty widely loved, I think.
Oh, I get a lot of shit in the Nintendo community because everybody tells me Mega Man 3 is the better game. So
I wouldn't say that at all. That's
I wouldn't either.
I mean, I'm kind of crazy. Believe me, I would choose Mega Man 4, which that's probably really
now that's wild. That is wild.
But that's the one that I grew up playing. That was one of the games we had growing up. My cousin had the game, so that's probably I think it's the first Mega Man game I ever played. But
loved Mega Man
2's up there.
Loved Mega Man 2 for me, but I could never beat it. I was terrible. And it's the easiest game in the series, but I would always get stuck. Always get stuck on the first Dr. Wily stage. The stage where you were doing the jumping when the dragon chased you.
Yes.
I used to get right paranoid, and I'd get like nervous. And I could never get the timing down right on the jumps. And if I ever did, like, I didn't know to use the quick boomerang because I was a kid, even though I had Nintendo Power. Didn't get it. So I would just go up with the pea shooter, and like, as soon as I got hit, I got knocked down. So there was a long point in my life where I thought I was never going to get past that stage. And I'll never forget, I did a video very early on in my YouTube days talking about beating bosses and stuff that we never could as a kid. And I went back and revisited it for the first time in a long time. I got to the Dr. Wily stage, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to capture myself failing on the dragon here now. And I beat it first time I tried, like in 15 seconds, just destroyed him. And I was like, that was easy.
Yeah.
Why do you think the Nintendo... well, we'll go into your favorite game in a second, but before that, why do you think the Nintendo became such a huge generational leap for a system? Like, the history, obviously.
Yeah.
It came out right after the video game crash. Retailers were a little bit scared to actually take it on into stores.
Right.
So what Nintendo did is they didn't sell it as a video game system. They called it an entertainment system. And the original deluxe set came with like Rob the Robot and the gun, and they tried to advertise it as more than video games. So there was obviously that, but why did it become such the cult phenomenon and movement that it did become? What do you think really aided Nintendo, like the extra stuff that went with Nintendo that just made it so popular?
Well, I think people... So you were talking about the video game crash, and I think people were kind of burnt out on video games because the reason for the crash is because of high expectations, and they're just unable to deliver with games like E.T. and Pac-Man and a lot of other games like that were just disastrous. And I think at least starting out the gate, Nintendo did deliver. I mean, having games like Super Mario Brothers, like I said earlier, being a game that was more in depth than anything that had ever come out up to that point. And what also I think something that Atari failed at was their cover art. They had fantastic looking cover art, but the games didn't look anything like the covers. But if you know, all the launch title, the black box games have all pictures taken exactly from
piece for piece, so nobody feels like they're getting ripped off.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think their expectations were met whenever they played the game. And then they were colorful, and all the launch title games were were great for the time in 1985. So no matter what maybe not like Donkey Kong Jr. Math or
Clue Clue Land. Were you a fan of Clue Clue Land?
I mean, it was okay. I can't say I hate it. But yeah, Excite Bike was good. Even some of the sports games, they were just such an upgrade over what we were used to. So, and they just advanced from there.
So much more powerful than the Atari 2600. So much more simpler to use. I mean, so many just revolutions of being able to hide the game under that dust cover inside the thing to make it feel like a VCR, gave them a premium feel. Controller was so easy to use, but they also did such a good job with the marketing for it. That I'm not saying Atari didn't have good marketing, because I mean that. What was the name of the game with Jack Black? Was it? It wasn't a Venture. Pitfall. Was it? Pitfall. Yeah. So I mean, that Pitfall commercial, like some of the old Atari commercials were amazing, but Nintendo took it to another level. Like now you're playing with power. They did so many cool things. Then supplementing Nintendo with Nintendo Power, having the Nintendo Power Club first, and Nintendo Power. Then you had like TV shows that were based on it. Right. Like we had the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Legend of Zelda, eventually Captain N. Yeah. So, I mean, it became a global phenomenon and really put video games back on the map. Even though they did some horribly illegal stuff in stores as well by, controlling evil monopolies that stopped Sega from getting in. But at the same time, Nintendo did everything else great.
Yep.
So I told you my favorite game, and chat, you throw it in the comments. I want to see yours as well. What was your favorite game, Mike, growing up for the Nintendo Entertainment System?
So growing up, I guess it would probably still be the same today. I said it the other night, and I'm going to stick with it, and it's going to be Batman. As I loved that game growing up. I didn't own it, but I knew people that had it, and when I started collecting for the NES back in, I don't want to say like 2010, 2011, I started buying up the games that I really, really wanted to play, and I think Batman may be the first game that I bought when I started, the major collection. And, always being a huge Batman fan, that was that helped a lot. And the fact that Batman was purple, that kind of stuff didn't really bother me. But the music in that game is amazing. The gameplay is amazing. Everything about it is about as top tier as it gets, for the NES. And so, I think if I had to rank one number one, and it's tough to do, but I would say Batman.
That is a bold choice. It's off my top 10 list, but I can't disagree with it. It was so good. Like the frustrating thing is, obviously, if you're a Batman fan, I guess it's kind of like the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game too. There was so much stuff in it that you were like, what the hell does this have to do with the movie? There was so many there was mutant creatures and stuff like that. Loosely followed the movie, but you're 100% right. I mean, the mechanics of Batman, like the way he moves, jumps, fires, the enemy battles, the stage design, pickups, everything like that. Sunsoft's music is just absolutely incredible. They did some cool stuff with the NES. That is such a great choice. I love Sunsoft Batman. I could play that all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I actually did stream it a little while ago. I never got to the end because I
remember that.
I get into the, I don't know, what is it, the Muldrums right around level 3 when you got to start taking on those stupid giant big jumping creatures. Yes. And it just pisses me off so much.
That's usually when I start getting my ass kicked. I'll breeze through it up to that point. Yeah, and then the worst thing is they respawn the second you walk off of screen and go back. Then they're back again, and then you have to beat the damn thing all over again.
It's funny. I recently got the analog Pocket, and everybody talks about FPGA emulation, saying it's 1-for-1 with the original console. But I kind of disprove that a little bit on my Batman playthrough because there's cheats in Batman. There's certain ways to get past certain enemies. If you just go back off screen, you can kind of scam them out. And I'm not above cheating, right?
I mean, hey,
but it wasn't working. It wasn't working on the analog. I was like, I thought this was 1-for-1 emulation. What the hell is going on here? Why is this? And maybe it's just an issue with the ROM. I don't know, but you got to be able to use those cheats, or sometimes you can't get through it, right?
That's right, exactly. Because some of those games were just brutal and relentless, and it didn't matter. You could play it 100 times in a row, and you may never beat it. Especially when you're a kid.
$1.99 super chat from my buddy, the Garage Gamer, who says, I'm not Gamer Fridge, everyone. I don't know why anybody would think Garage Gamer is Gamer Fridge. I do know. I told everybody they should start calling Gamer Fridge Garage Fridge on his next show.
I mean, who doesn't have a garage fridge, right?
Garage Fridge. Good to see you, Garage Fridge. I did forget to mention this, guy. So that's the first super chat. I greatly appreciate it. But if you haven't seen, I do have a super chat goal tonight. But you guys were already cool enough. Everybody, came out in droves for my birthday and really helped out. So don't feel obligated to do this at all. But I always do the extra one for the double down on my show. So I wanted to come up with another topic to talk about tonight. So for the double down, if we hit 5 super chats, we're probably going to talk about it anyways. I wanted to talk about the I was about to call it Arcade 1-Off because it's so similar, but the Basic Fun WrestleFest Supreme Cab. So obviously the Countercade and the Ultra Cab have come out. We know what the ROMs are like. The question is there any point for Basic Fun, now that they've delayed it, to even come out with the Supreme Cab? With all the issues with the other cabs, is there still going to be a big market for this, or should they just abandon it and do something else in the Supreme? And for the people considering buying this that are looking at doing a potential soft mod, I actually have an update on the status of the soft mod from Team Encoder that I think you guys are going to want to hear. So anyways, no obligation to do a super chat, but if we get there, that's something we're going to talk about later, and we're probably going to talk about it anyways. So just a heads up on that. And I thought that'd be fun. You're a big wrestling guy. Really quickly before we get back to the NES, what do you think of this whole situation with WrestleFest and Basic Fun? I mean, obviously, it's missing characters. They didn't replace them. You being a big wrestling fan, were you a big WrestleFest fan? Was that a cab you were looking forward to?
Yeah, actually it was. I mean, I wouldn't say I was a huge fan of the game growing up, but it was always one that, the WWF guys, of course I was into it.
Oh, you're one of those WrestleMania, the arcade game fans.
Yeah. I was I'm WrestleMania snob, but I did like WrestleFest, and honestly I was very, very interested in this, and I was going to wait for the Supreme, but I don't know anymore. My opinion's kind of changed on that after seeing people getting it and reviewing it, and I think if I was Basic Fun, I don't think I would have led with that one. If you couldn't nail it in its entirety, I wouldn't have led with it. And I'm a big fan of the Arcade 1-Up Blitz. That didn't bother me that they didn't have all the people and they took out the hits. But if Arcade 1-Up, if that would have been their first cabinet released, then I think I would have had a problem with it.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. I will tell you though, I don't think they knew what they were getting into with the licenses and with the trouble with the wrestlers before they were too deep in the game. So I know when people hate when I give the companies an out and try to make excuses for them, but I don't think they wanted to do it the way they did it. And it was a big blow to them, but they were too late in the game. Can't just throw our hands up and be like, well, guys, we spent, $1 million and made a promise in a contract that we were going to delay, but it's not original, so we can't release it. So I think that's kind of the situation it went into. Anyways, Mike, here's another question I wanted to ask you about the NES, looking back on it. What is probably your fondest memory with the NES? And this is a bit of a tough question because this is for all 40 years. It doesn't necessarily have to be as a kid. It could also be as an adult, maybe coming back and eventually beating a game or something like that. So if you had to pinpoint one specific NES memory, what would it be for you?
So, all right, that is kind of a tough question to narrow down, but
really tough, right?
I remember. So I have a younger brother, and we have 2 cousins that are the same age as me and my brother. So my dad and my uncle were real close, so we would always get together. So there would always be a big group of us, and they'd bring their games over, or we would bring our games over to their house, and it would just be an NES fest all night long, and we're running through like Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, and Double Dragon, and everybody's taking turns, and it was just having a whole bunch of people together in the same room, sitting down in front of the TV, because you're always sitting on the floor, and playing all these games all night long. So yeah, that was something that I always have fond memories of, and probably was one of the reasons why I even got into collecting in the first place, just to kind of get that nostalgia feeling back.
Yeah, it's so weird. It was such a bit different time back in the 80s. You would literally go over to anybody's house, and that. I remember in the 80s that was a big thing. Like our parents would always constantly have these adult parties And I want to be careful saying adult parties because people may get the wrong idea by saying adult parties.
Yeah.
But, you know, like they'd have like Boxing Day parties and they go over to visit their friends. And then all of a sudden, you know, we're down with all the kids who are around the same age in the basement. And what's everybody doing? They're playing Nintendo. So you go over, you see what games they have. All of a sudden, you're playing different games we didn't have at home. Like, they're like, do you want to play Jordan versus Bird? And you're like, what the hell is Jordan versus Bird?
Yeah.
Sure.
And making friends with people that were complete strangers just because there's the NES and you're just going to start playing.
It was the weirdest thing in the world. Like, I remember I actually live in the same neighborhood I grew up in. And I remember there was like a little path down to a street below ours. And like, it'd be just like the big thing. Like, we'd all be playing and then someone would come up and they'd be like, hey, buddy down on the next street that you don't know at all just got Mike Tyson's Punch Out. We're all going down to his house to play it. And you'd be like, oh my God.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Get on the bike, ride down the street, and we'll see you at night.
So I do want to go to kind of your top 5 list. That was where this started with Arcades Anonymous. They did a top 5. So I think you knew I was probably going to ask you this. You already told us your favorite game, but give us the whole list, your top 5. What do you think if you were going to recommend to somebody that was thinking about getting into the Nintendo Entertainment System for the first time, what 5 games would you suggest to them?
So I had said Mega Man 4 earlier, and honestly, I think I'm going to put that on my list. And I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong with any of the Mega Man games. 4 is the one I'm most fond of. You know, they introduced the M-Buster cannon, which I thought was a game changer. The music's great. You have 2 castles you actually have to go through in that game instead of just one. So yeah, I would say Mega Man 4 would probably be number 5. Number 4 is probably going to be on everybody's list, but The Legend of Zelda. I think that was one of the that may have been the 3rd or the 4th game that we got in our collection. And don't sleep on the Adventure Link either. I don't like the
it's
hate
good.
That game gets.
It's really hard though. It's really
very, very
like, frustratingly
hard. It's totally
hard.
different.
Yeah,
but either one of those would be a good one for anybody if you were looking to play. I think DuckTales would be on my list too. Another Capcom game.
Yeah,
I love the cartoon show.
Hard to argue with these. I mean, the music in DuckTales is
probably one of the best soundtracks on the whole console. And the game that's going to be probably number 2. I had a hard time between that one and my number 1, and everybody was saying in the chat, Contra. That's one of the games I think that probably is better on the NES than it is in the arcade. I don't know what
I did a video on this. Yeah. I did a video on this. Contra, what was it? Contra, Double Dragon, and the other one might have been Rygar. But I talked about, Ninja Gaiden was the other one. Ninja Gaiden NES is so much better than Ninja Gaiden Arcade. Ninja Gaiden Arcade is a good game, but no. So yeah, I agree with that. Contra is so much better than the arcade version, the NES version. The only problem I had with it is it was so hard. Like I've never been able to legit beat it ever. I still can't
without
that or
without the
Super
Konami code.
Yeah,
that's the only way I could beat it. If I can beat it within using the Konami code once, I'm happy.
Yeah, I can do it once easily. But no, I can't beat it. I can't beat it legit. Still can't. And I tried real hard with Super C for about a year to try to get good at it, and I can't.
No, I can get to the waterfall level usually pretty easily, and then that's it. You know, and then I'm out of lives.
Oh, the music at the waterfall stage too. I love it. So freaking good. Yep. Oh, so I actually 12 years ago on YouTube made a video about this. Might have been more actually. Forget how old I am sometimes. But I did a video about this 12 years ago, and honestly, same today that it was then. Nothing's changed, but you're probably gonna be mad at me. It's such a basic list. Anybody would make fun of me for it. So I'll show you here now. Pull it up on screen. When this commercial's done, oh God, what a jerk puts this many commercials in his video. God,
I know.
So number 6 was Super Mario Brothers 2. There's for some reason here it comes, number 5. So number 5 for me, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I there's no way not to love Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Like the timing, everything is just so perfect.
Yep.
So simple to play, but like it never gets old. It's never not fun. It's got to be Mike Tyson though. I refuse to play the secondary Punch Out.
No.
To play it.
Mike Tyson all day. Yep.
I love Heavy Barrel. That's another one. I love Heavy Barrel NES. Hate Heavy Barrel Arcade. I don't know what it is. So we got Punch Out, and then that's followed up by Castlevania. I absolutely adore the first Castlevania, and I like Castlevania 2 a lot too. Simon's Quest. I actually don't like Dracula's Curse. I don't like Castlevania 3.
Very hard.
Very hard.
Very difficult.
Stupid hard.
Yeah.
But Castlevania 1 is such a good mix of, it does have its quirks, the way that you get knocked back, all that shit. But honestly, just how good this plays, the music, the horror theme that they have going for it. Absolutely love the first Castlevania. Would never not be wanting to play it. Then I told you this was a very basic list. Super Mario Brothers 3. This is the game that changed everything for us in this age, in this period, right? I don't have much more to say about it. I mean, it's Super Mario Brothers 3 from that commercial where they were all yelling out Mario, Mario, Mario. Yep.
Going back, if you don't like it, something's wrong,
Going back to the original game, Super Mario World, which, believe it or not, is actually my favorite Mario in the entire franchise. It improved on this, but this developed so many of these like hidden stages, the world map, all the things that are staples of Mario games now. There's a reason people think it's the best. It's because it is. Love Super Mario Brothers 3. The Raccoon Tail, what a stupid power-up, but it's so good. Same with the frog suit too, right?
Yep.
This is one I never could beat as a child, not even remotely close. And still to this day, I find it really difficult to beat. I get stuck on, I think it's the first actual world, when you get to stage 8, past the battleships and all that stuff. There's one where you have to use the tail and kind of fly up, and I always screw it up.
Yeah, it gets real whenever you get to level 8. But if you can make it to Bowser, I mean, there's an obvious glitch in the game where I'm sure you know it. You crouch over in the corner, duck down, and Bowser can't kill you.
Number 2, of course, Legend of Zelda. And it's not much to say there. I'm just absolutely infatuated with this game. I can play it all the time. Never gets old for me. Exploring these dungeons, I find the Legend of Zelda games really got a little bit easier. Like Link to the Past is still my favorite in the series, but this is the only top-down one that's really super hard. Like there's times, like especially when you get to dungeon like 6, 7, and 8, where it's a struggle, man. There's some long dungeons, and they really tax and challenge you, right?
Yes, you get the wizards that are just spawning out of everywhere, and the like takes your shield, and then you can't even block him anymore. Yeah, you better have potion. You better be all powered up before you go in there.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of sucks is with the North American version, we didn't get the true Famicom version where you could actually blow into the controller to take out the what were they called? Those rabbits.
Oh my god. I can't think of it. I can envision them. They look like little bunny rabbits that bounced around.
Yeah. And those knights?
Pole's voice.
And those knights are the absolute bane of my existence. Of my existence. And of course, number 1, like I mentioned earlier, Mega Man 2. A lot of people give me shit about it because it's the easiest Mega Man by far, but I just still love it. The music, everything. I'll tell you a funny story. Crash Man, for example. I remember being a kid, and I couldn't beat him. I couldn't beat Crash Man, and I went to go sleep over at my grandparents' house. And I had a dream that night about how to beat him. And sure enough, when I went back home and I tried it out, this pattern of jumping away and then turning back and shooting, where he would jump over me, what I had in my dream, I actually played it, and I can beat him still to this day with the pea shooter without
getting worked. No kidding.
I had a dream on how to do it. It worked. The story ever, but it's 100% true. Yeah, Mega Man 2, people have watched me play this through 100 times. I've never done a no death run because there is a real cheap moment when you get I think it's Wily's Castle stage 2 or 3. There's a boss you've got to beat with crash bombs. You got to beat him with crash bombs, and you have to open up walls with crash bombs. And you can't technically do it. Like, you've got to be perfect to do it without running out of crash bombs. And if you run out of crash bombs, then at that point, you basically have to die and
It's
continue
kind of
over
screwed.
bombs. Yeah, so that is my top 5. I know people are gonna shit on me now and saying, "Oh my god, that list is so basic compared to all the other lists they put forward on, Arcades Anonymous," but I can't help myself, man.
I mean,
Good those are good games.
those are great games. They're on that list for a reason because they are that good. I mean, if you look up any top 10 list of any NES games, every one of those will be on it because
Yeah.
they are that good. I mean, so what? You like them too. Everybody likes them.
Well, it's hard. You always try to throw, like, one on there, like, people are always looking for that, like, deep cut or something like that, like, "Oh, that's a surprise, that's a shock that it's on there," but nah, man, I'm gonna do it straightforward. Good games are good games. DuckTales did make the list though for me, but it's a little bit higher up. Like I love DuckTales. Can you do the speed run? What's your fastest time?
No. Probably 35 minutes or something. Nothing.
What?
Nothing crazy.
35 minutes. Mike, I gotta get on with you. That game's a 15-minute finish. Tops.
15?
15 tops, and that's if
Yeah.
you're playing poorly.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever timed myself. We did do a duck run on my channel, or a duck hunt, or a DuckTales run on my channel, but I can't remember what we finished the game in. But there's usually 2 of us, and we're kind of messing around and having a few beverages. So
Yeah.
you know, it's not like a real serious. I don't ever actually sat down and was like, okay, I'm gonna beat this thing as fast as I can and see what I can do on it. I would say probably like half hour, so it would probably be about normal for me.
Yeah, there's a way to do it like really super quick, and I don't know why, but I just started doing it that way. So I have like a distinct path that I can't veer off, and yeah, 15 minutes. That's pretty much
good.
the run.
That's good.
Yeah. What was I going to tell you about this? I used to be involved with some people from my old YouTube channel that were like hardcore gamers. I'll ask you, we're running out of time on this NES topic, and I don't want to run too long, but what do you think the hardest Nintendo game is? Like, people were asking about that earlier. If you had to say one, what would you think the hardest is?
The Battletoads.
Battletoads?
Yeah, I Battletoads was just, and that's one of the games I had growing up too, and we could never beat it. I think it's impossible to beat with 2 players. I think there's
2 players you can't do it.
You cannot do it. You just physically can't do it. But I've never been able to beat it without some sort of cheating, whether it's save states or GameGenie or whatever. Even to this day, I get to the unicycle stage before the tower, and that's it. I just cannot do it. It's just so hard, but it's so fun though. That's the one thing about it. I love the game because the graphics and the soundtrack and everything about it, everything else, the beat 'em up action is just so fun that I'll always go back to it. But even though I know I'm not going to beat it.
Duck Hunt, Stock Jock, give it up, Stock Jock.
When Jason said Ghosts and Goblins, Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins.
That's probably be 1 and 1A with Battletoads.
Yeah, Ghosts and Goblins, I have tried over and over again. It's impossible. Those Red Devils, like trying to understand the patterns for the Red Devils, like it's too hard. And there's stages where there's literally like 8 Red Devils right in a row.
Right.
There's no way you're getting through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and the 2 hit deaths. Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard. But again, like Battletoads, I think it's a really, really fun game though.
But see, the thing about Battletoads that people always talk about, it's hard, but it's hard in the right way. It's hard all the way through. And it's hard in so many different ways. People don't give Battletoads enough credit because they go with different, unique formats for the way the levels work. They change things up. But at no point does it cheat you. You know what I mean? There's games that are hard because they cheat. So, like, a lot of times the Japanese developers thought that games were too easy. So they would do shit to make it harder. Like the Japanese, another one that Bayou Billy, right? The Japanese version of Bayou Billy is actually playable, not ridiculous like the US version. Same with Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden actually intentionally cheats you when you get to the last level. They just change the rules of the game. If you die, you go back to act, what is it, like 6-1 instead of starting off, right? Like usually when you die, you start off in the stage that you're on, but they'll bring you right back to the beginning of the level. And then with the final boss, if you make it to the final boss, there's 3 stages and your energy is supposed to refill between each stage. But if you do not beat him on the very first try, your energy will never recharge during the stages again. So they cheat. They intentionally cheat to make it harder for North American audiences.
Yeah, and that's the BS with Ghosts and Goblins was another one. If you don't pick that shield up, you don't know. You make it the whole way to the end, and you can't do anything. And then they send you back.
Yeah, but that's how that was their way of extending the gameplay, getting you to play more and more and more. Right? They would just cheat and make it harder. But Battletoads isn't like that.
Oh no,
it's just brutal shit the whole way through.
You get a nice easy level 1, level 2, and then you get to the turbo tunnel and it gets on. But and then people think that's hard.
That's a joke compared to the rest of the game.
It's child's play when you get into the rat race and the snake level and oh my god, it's insane. But so fun though.
Jason Little Alien, $5 super chat. He's not wrong. Who are we kidding? It was all downhill after Gyromite. You're not wrong. Anyways, I've had fun talking about the NES, but I do have some other stuff that I promised I would talk about tonight, Mike. So really quickly, you been following anything with the AtGames situation? What AtGames have been doing? Yeah.
So I don't own one, but I follow it.
Yes, and see, this is why I wanted to also ask you about this. I thought you would be a good person to ask about this because you've never bought like an AtGames Legends pinball. Are you a pinball guy at all?
Yeah.
So they actually have a new version now. So they're trying to attract new customers with this. This is not necessarily for existing customers. I mean, nobody with the 4KP is probably going to downgrade to this. I don't know if this will appeal to Legends Pinball HD users, but for you as a new consumer, would you possibly be interested in buying something that obviously has a theme you'd love, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes, this actually did catch my eye whenever it came out. And for that reason, I'm a huge Ninja Turtles guy, and everything about it, I was like, oh, this is fine. I mean, I've never played in HD, 4K, so I don't really know how much of a downgrade this is. I have no experience with it. So to me, over my arcade 1-up Star Wars, this would probably be a massive improvement.
Massive upgrade. Yeah, massive upgrade. So, the only downside to this, to the 4KP, really is the fact that the back glass screen right here is only going to be 15.6 inches compared to the 4KP, which has a much larger back glass. So that's a downgrade. And the actual playfield itself is going to be the same size, 32 inches, but its max resolution is 1080p as opposed to 4K. But keep in mind that, not every game is 4K. The Zen Studios games don't actually run at 4K anyways. So, you're getting a slight downgrade on those games and a massive downgrade on the, Zen Studios games in terms of graphics. But how good do you actually want them? Like, that's the thing, right? Compared to price. So these are available now. A lot of people are looking at them. Reviews are coming out for them, but there's some information on them that I just wanted people to know. AtGames shared last week, because there's some stuff that people should know before they consider buying that they put in their product spec sheet. And AtGames gave me this information last week, and I just wanted to kind of bring it to people's attention. So some really finite details before you buy this product. I actually think it's a great product. I think AtGames make great pinball machines. The fact that you can add an SSF kit to this is fantastic. Obviously the Zen games, especially some of the new Zachariah Deluxe games, have been top notch. There's downsides to AtGames with the updates and stuff like that, but the products are really good. So going down on this, I did want to explain some stuff. So this is the fact sheet that is available now. I got this from AtGames Facebook page, actually. But it says how many games are available. And I wanted to be clear about this. This is only one game actually comes with the pinball machine. So when you buy this, the only game that's going to be pre-installed on it is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You're going to have to buy every single other game. So you see this, $1,200. It's a multi-cade or multi-pin that you could buy other games for, but only one game on it. What do you think of that?
That's a little bit steep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, a lot steep to only have one game. And I know their pinball packs aren't outrageously priced, but I follow it enough to know that prices are fluctuating all the time, it seems like. And I would hate to have to spend $1,200 or whatever that is, and then go and invest another few hundred just to be able to get a bunch of games to put on this thing, because for something like this, yes, it's main function is to be a multicade. So you would obviously want a lot of games on it, because if not, if I'm going to spend a lot of money, I'm just going to buy a real pinball machine or something along those lines. And if I only want one game, but this is tempting, but I might be waiting a little bit on this to see how things go.
All right, I'm going to tell you another couple things just to keep in mind before you turn away from it. So the one big upgrade that I think if somebody has a Legends Pinball HD, they might want to consider jumping to this too, and why this is exciting for people that are getting in at the first time, because this is unfortunately, even though this is $1,200, which seems not a great deal considering when the 4KP first came out, it was on sale for $10.99. So it seems like, why is it $100 more? You have to keep in mind that AtGames, like a lot of other companies, have not been immune to like inflation, excess shipping costs, and now tariffs. So, I mean, even the AtGames Premium Starter Kit, which is the 4KP with only one game, very similar to this, that's jumped up in price to $1,600 now. So this is a little bit cheaper option, even though it feels super expensive. We did an episode, I think it was last week, talking about price and how this is $1,200. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. And then people were saying, well, in comparison to building your own, multi-pin or whatever, that's a great deal. And I'm like, yes, but you've got to kind of understand that people in this community aren't used to prices this high. So seeing this after seeing like Arcade 1-Up pinballs, Arcade 1-Ups, even AtGames old products, I mean, that $1,200, there's some sticker shock there, right?
Yes. That's not like throwaway money at this point. That's like, okay, I actually need to sit down and think about if I really want to pull the trigger on something like this. And then it's ironic, I guess, in a way that something else was leaked or released or hinted at maybe a week within this from Wonderlands with another TMNT option.
Yeah.
So that kind of changed my mind a little bit on, okay, what do I, maybe I want to see what this is all about before I.
One positive to this though, compared to Wonderland, I'm looking at the artwork from Wonderland, and those aren't the same turtles I grew up with. So as long as you're okay with the overall turtle universe, I think that's fine. But for me, I'm just like, I want kid turtles. I don't want your turtles.
I want 1987 series or 1990 movie Ninja Turtles.
That's all I want. I don't want any other turtles. The big upside for this, I got a little sidetracked, was the Brick has a listing for Basic Fun Star Wars in Canada, Mike. Thank you, I Am Rappy. I appreciate that. I've got to keep an eye out for that. I knew the listings were going up soon because those machines are going to be available in November. So keep an eye on Amazon. They should be going up there soon as well. I did want to talk about this. So Zen Studios, even though you couldn't on the Legends Pinball HD, but you can on the Pinball 4K, Zen Studios games are going to be available on this. But there's two caveats to that. Number one is with this, you get 3 months free PinballNet subscription, which gives you access to, like, it's an online subscription, kind of like Game Pass, that gives you access to all the AtGames pinball games. That does not include Zen Studios games. They're not included with PinballNet. So those are going to be separate anyways. The other side is Zen Studios, they're looking to bring in, but they give a non-definitive answer here in this. So let me see if I can find it specifically here. Products and services. Come on. 1-1. Will I be able to purchase pinball tables from Zen Studios? Not at launch. However, we're working diligently to bring more tables, including those from Zen, to your machine. A full list of available tables and the release schedule will be announced at a later date. So reading that comment, does that give you the warm and fuzzies about Zen and buying this machine? Or are you kind of like, I might wait till Zen actually is up and running on this?
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I think I would want to wait to see what was going to happen there, because a lot of those tables are ones that I think most people would want. So yeah, until it was like concrete and confirmed, I'd be a little hesitant.
All right. And then the last thing about it is, I don't know if you know about this, but there is a thing that AtGames have been doing since the premium starter editions, where these are stripped down models. And one of the things they take away is, in fact, the, how do I say this right? It's the advanced features. So if you've ever seen an AtGames product, there were built-in features. Same with the pinball machine, that you could hook a external device like a computer up, no problem, play games from it, or you could bring like a stick and plug a stick in and log features in from it as well. That's BYOG, and it's also OTG. Those features are no longer standard with these machines, and you have to pay an additional fee to unlock them for your machines. So that fee is somewhere around $200. It's $100 for each feature. How does that make you feel about it?
That kind of sucks too. I mean, I'm not like the super techie guy, so a lot of the stuff that I prefer that it's plug and play, but
yeah,
I don't think I'd be paying extra money for that. It'd be nice if it came included, but for a couple $100 extra, I mean, I don't know.
All right, so you are a person outside the spectrum, like of ownership. You've never bought one of these before. Hearing all that information, now I'm going to tell you something else. It's $11.99 right now, but during Sam's Club Black Friday sale, they're going to drop the price to $9.99. Does that change your opinion of it?
It does. Oh yeah. Couple $100 less, yes. Yeah, that if there was a time to pull the trigger, that would probably be the time.
Yeah, so
I'm on the fence still.
You're still on the fence?
Yes.
Last thing I will tell you, going back to this picture, I got to show you this. There is one other downside. For some reason, the art has changed, and now the turtles don't have any weapons on the artwork.
Yeah, so I noticed that somebody, I guess, think they were talking about it the other night, and that doesn't really bother me all that much. I mean, it would have been a lot better had they had them, and I would love to know why they removed them.
I don't know either.
It seems kind of like a silly thing to do, because you associate the turtles with the weapons. I mean, I get it, it's Nickelodeon, but you still watch their shows, and they have the weapons in the shows, so why not at least even if their weapons were holstered, It seems kind of silly, but that doesn't really change my opinion all too much.
I have no answer for that. The only thing I can think of is to make it more family friendly. But I mean, it's turtles. Turtles have been around for 40 years with the weapons. Yes. It's always been family friendly. So I don't know why that decision was made. It just seems, I don't know, kind of crazy. That's the best way.
Really,
yeah. Now, last piece of information I'm going to show you on this. Try to get you excited about it. Have you seen gameplay of the actual game? Because this is an original pinball game that AtGames have made with Magic Pixel.
No, I have not. Not seen.
All right. So I'm going to bring it up to the screen. I don't think this is going to share the music, but at least it will share the game.
They got their weapons there. Liking it so far. Yeah, this looks, and I'm sure it's one of those things. I'm sure it's a lot better in person too.
So I'll give them credit on that. I think that's a wonderful ad. I think this is a big title for them. It's done in their Magic Pixel Zaccaria style game. So it's gonna have the same physics as those games. For people that love those physics, great. For people that are okay with those physics, like me, that's good. For people who hate those physics, I got bad news for you. But we're getting a really cool theme based on one of the things we love, turtles. Still a lot of answers I don't know. Will it have the original theme? Does it have different people for the voices for the call-outs, or does it have the original voice actors? We don't really know that yet. I know that RetroTech X on YouTube, he was at Pinball Expo, and somehow they got a copy of the game there at Pinball Expo and played a little bit of it. So it's a little bit more information than when we saw in the trailer, but I kind of want to see more information on that. The game's not ready yet, from what I understand. So if you bought the machine, it's not ready day one, from what I understand. Okay. So yeah, I could be wrong on that. It could be ready. So I want to preface that. I don't know for sure. Just be very clear. So seeing all that, getting all that information, you're outside, never bought an AtGames Legends pinball before. What do you think? Base opinions.
I think it'll do well for them, honestly. And I get that if you're if you own the 4K, there's absolutely zero reason to buy that at all. If and I mean, unless you want the game, is the game going to be available for purchase on their other machines?
Fingers
Or is it,
crossed. I'm really
okay?
hoping.
So it may only be that to that exclusive to that table.
Yeah.
Yeah. As somebody who's never bought it, it's kind of registered a blip on my radar before their previous stuff, but this was the one that really kind of put me on notice. Like, okay, I'm gonna watch this thing and see where it goes. I mean, it's kind of a bummer to learn that it's only coming with one game on it, but I mean, you see a Black Friday price down to $9.99. I mean, that could make up for it,
That could change everything. As much as, there's a lot of things to point out to people to make them aware of it. I will tell you, if it's built half as well as the 4KP, I think it's going to be a really solid product, especially with that Black Friday pricing. That's a little bit more justifiable in my mind, like for going from the downgrade from the original premium starter at $12.49 or $12.99, whatever it was, down to $9.99 for dropping down to 1080p. The game's still running 60 frames per second, so you're still getting excellent pinball quality. So yeah, I as much as people probably want to tear it apart and like talk about AtGames server issues, yada yada yada, at its core, as this is a product, I think this is a good idea for them. I think it's a great license, and yeah, I think they're doing the right thing with this one, believe it or not.
Yep.
All right. Before we get off that, I did want to bring up AtGames have released 2 long-awaited pinball games this past today. They were supposed to be out 2 weeks ago. They released the Elvira game. So Elvira Scared Stiff and Elvira and the Party Monster are now available to play. I've had a chance to play them. They're there in the background. Give me a second, Mike. I'm going to get a video up. You ever played either of these Elvira games, like either real through VPX or anything like that?
I don't know. I don't believe that I have, but I've been seeing a lot about them the last few days or so, and they look like they're pretty fun. It seems like people are excited about them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Elvira, obviously, because I grew up in the 80s, and she had really big boobs.
I always remember seeing that and taking special notice of that pinball machine.
Yeah, boobies on the back
particular
glass.
reason. Yeah, that's exactly.
But I did want to just go back, and I'm going to bring up their page. That's probably the easiest way for me to share this video. Oh, the Turtles pinball is everywhere now. But the big news about them, they're out now. They're pretty great. Got to turn down that volume on my end. So here is Elvira and the Party Monsters. I thought both games played really well. The only thing I'm a little disappointed by is in Scared Stiff, and I think everybody knew this going in. There's a feature on the back glass where actually on the back glass what happens is there's this spider that spins around. And unfortunately, oh my God, it's still going off. Unfortunately, with the spider spinning around, they couldn't get that to work on the back glass. Huge bummer, because it's previously worked with like VPX. When I had the game in VPX, the actual back glass spider did spin. Doesn't spin on this one. So I thought that was kind of a bummer, but it's not a complete deal breaker. Other than that, I think the games run well. The big controversy right now is AtGames announced these a couple weeks ago, and they were priced at $10. But when they finally, they were delayed 2 weeks. When they finally came up today, they were actually priced at $15 for the pinball packs. So kind of a surprise price. A lot of people were upset with, but everybody who's bought them love the pinball games. Now, everybody's upset about the $15, but there's obviously a reason for it, which I'm going to get to in just a second. I just need to get my video files up, and I don't know if this is out. I think it's up on their website now, but I actually got an email from AtGames earlier today, and got this email and notification. So just give me a second. I don't know why that's going across both my screens. I just want it to be on one. So here it is here. As of October 17th, Legends 4K pinball packs and subscription services are now available for worldwide purchase on the device through App Store X. Starting November 1st, the e-store, so their online portal, like through their website, will no longer work. Now, I've heard internally the reason why is they don't pay for people purchasing on the machine, but they do pay for the online store. There's some kind of like administration fee. So that's the reason they're converting. So people previously who have bought through their website, ordered the pack. They can no longer do that as of November 1st. The second part of that is coming November 14th, if you've been thinking about adding a pack to your collection from Zen Studios, there's going to be a price increase. And I think Elvira was the first, even though it's not November 14th yet, I think Elvira was the first casualty for these price increases. Seeing these price increases, now does this change your opinion on possibly picking up the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball?
No, not really. I mean, it kind of stinks, but if the games are that good, then that's kind of the way I look at it. Like, I'm okay with paying a couple extra dollars as long as they do it right, and as long as there's not going to be all sorts of issues with it. That's going to be like the key thing.
Yeah.
You hear horror stories from people, and they're having all sorts of problems signing on or doing all this stuff, and that's the only thing that kind of keeps me away a little bit, and it has kept me away up to this point. It's like, I don't want to spend all this money and then get in over my head and not be able to use this thing or have all sorts of problems with it.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about this. Again, I've talked about this 100 times. I talked about this last week. Great products. Excellent products. Like, honestly, I love my AtGames Legends Pinball 4KP. I love the fact they have access to like the 3 biggest virtual pinball distributors. I love the fact that they're making their own games. There's so much good stuff going on with AtGames and their pinball world. What's not good, of course, is the issues with their server, the constant updates, and kind of how those updates have really impacted whether or not people can even enjoy the product in the first place. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know if these updates are uncontrollable. I'm not internal at AtGames, but like from an outsider looking in, for the people that have spent so much money on these machines, like think about it. Now, literally, it's like $2,000 to buy the base machine before the premium starter. Then you pay $2,000 up front. You think about how much money you've spent buying games for the pinball machine. That should never be down. If I spend $4,000 on a virtual pinball machine, can you imagine that being down for a month while they try to work out a server issue?
No, if it's down, they better have an issue that resolved right away, working on it around the clock. And it just doesn't seem like that's what's happening.
That's the sad thing, right? So I don't know what's going on there, but I really like AtGames, but there's almost like a precaution that you got to give people. You're like, this machine is incredible, totally worth the money. However, albeit there's a star next to it, there are some issues that you should be aware of, right?
Yep.
All right, man.
Not buying one. Yeah, that's in the back of my mind all the time.
All right, weigh that out, because very soon at Sam's Club, I'll see if I can find the picture now and give you the actual dates. Because if this is actually on your mind, let's see if I can get the flyer up, see if I still have it. I have so much crap on my computer, Mike. It's ridiculous. Way too much crap.
I understand completely.
Yeah. I got it here. So here is the actual flyer. Like I said, it's $11.99 now, but November 26th, 12 p.m. Eastern, online only. Legends Pinball, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, $200 off, down from $11.99 to $9.99. So if you are interested, that's the time to go pick it up. It's at Sam's Club.
It's Sam's Club. Yeah, you may never see it below $1,000.
You look at it, not to create FOMO, but you look at it like the AtGames Legends Pinball 4KP. That started out, the original order was $1,099 for the Addams Family. Then you had pundits saying, "Oh, this is going to drop in price, and it's going to be like $5.99 at some point. They're going to clearance at Sam's." Never happened. So, no. I mean, all bets are off, right? There's no guarantees about anything anymore.
Nope.
All right, man. So last but not least, I did want to bring up one other topic. Have you been following the stuff with the Iconic Arcade?
A little bit, yeah. Yep, always paying attention to it.
Product that you're remotely interested in? Something you thought about picking up?
Probably not at this time, no. I may be in the minority here, but I have Street Fighter, and who's the other one? Double Dragon. Wasn't really one that, I don't know. This is something I'm probably going to wait a little bit on.
Well, Street Fighter.
Okay, we got Alpha.
Yeah, the Alpha is the one that's new for the people interested in having a new model in their home. But like, I mean, we've got so many Street Fighters. It was harder to get excited about this, but it's the first time we're getting an XL style Street Fighter, so that's kind of exciting. I want to talk about some of the history with this. I mean, this pre-order went up last January. There were a lot of shipping delays. There was a long time where company went dead silent. They didn't talk to anybody. They came back. They changed the name to the XT Arcade instead of XXL. We got new upgrades on it, but still, I mean, it's November in a couple days, and these cabs aren't coming out to December. So you're waiting almost a full 12 months with a lot of bullshit in the middle before this even comes out. So a lot of people have been saying on the outside, oh, these products are never coming out. This is all a scam. They're trying to even compare it to like the Intellivision Amico and different things like that. So one of the things that obviously this company had to do to get in the good graces of people, show proof of life, show that the product is coming along. And just this past weekend, they actually released a video of a build of the final production cabinet. Have you had a chance to see it yet?
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't watch much of it. Out of curiosity, I just clicked on it to see what it was all about. But did they build the cabinet in its entirety?
They built the cabinet in its entirety. So I'm going to bring it up on screen, and hopefully it doesn't make us lag at all. And this is the build. So 19K Fox did a really good review of this last night and actually pointed out very big differences from the original like arcade one-up build. They're building this thing super fast. One thing I absolutely like is there's light up coin doors, light up coin slots on the pro coin board. This is the first thing that 19K Fox really took the chance to do and pointed out was if you've ever built one of the new arcade one-up blocks or the arcade one-up XLs, they do join at the sides, exactly like Sonic Arcade's going to do, but these panels are typically little metal panels. They went with wood here. And I mean, calling this stuff wood is, it's questionable. I mean, when you get into this, when you get into this level of MDF, like, wood, is it not wood? I don't really know. But anyways, there was a question on durability on this that I thought was a valid question from 19K Fox. I thought it was a good question. So we'll see how that goes. Playing that video is killing your audio. I know, JJ. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It's been doing it for a while. I got to figure out what's going on. So I'm not going to play the video too much, but I did want to go up and show you how the screen is actually attached, because this is another one. It's kind of weird. Let's see if I went too far. So there it is. That's the front of the screen, but I really want to find the back of the screen. That's what I'm looking for. So just give me a second here now. Damn it. Of course, I'll never be able to find it. But yeah, here it is. So the back of the screen, the funny thing is, Fox pointed this out, and I was like, whoa, the screen's not decased. So this is a 16:9 screen instead of going with a 4:3 screen, and they cover up part of the screen with a bezel. And instead of it being a decased screen like we're used to getting in all these arcades where the metal front actually screws onto the front of the wood and what holds it into place, this is actually like a non-decased like Lenovo monitor that's just jammed into the machine. And then they use like a big wooden bracket here on the end. And there's got to be a better picture that shows the whole back. Yeah, I think it's coming up here now. Maybe
just jam it in place to hold it in place, basically.
Yeah. So have you ever seen like any of those like, damn it. Why is this not working? Maybe I don't know why this isn't working. I'm so frustrated. Maybe I need a better part of the video. But you ever see when those people get like a real arcade and then they jam like an LCD monitor in it, and it's the same thing. It's just a normal monitor, and there's just like a big wooden piece that connects it on the back. That's basically how this is connected.
That's what that is.
So that screen is held in with like this wooden brace right here, and then the Raspberry Pi is connected to that on the back. Okay. Nate UT says, and who cares if it has a case on it or not? This is a final production sample. This is what it's going to look like. I have 100% confirmation, Nate. Most people don't care. Apparently, this is a pretty generic size monitor, too. So, while 19K Fox was saying if you wanted to replace it, it's going to be tough. But do you find this to be concerning or a good change from like the original arcade designs that we've all seen so many times?
I mean, honestly, for me, it probably wouldn't matter one way or another. as long as the thing isn't loose or rattling around or anything, I don't get too crazy rough with the game. So I don't know. It should be. Hopefully, it's solid enough.
So yeah, like I mean, I don't really care about how the screen's attached. Like that's not a really big deal to me as well. 19K Fox brought it up. Obviously, this is going to be very different for us. It's not what we're used to. So obviously, that's held in with a wooden part. I think JJ said it here. I've seen it so many times that like people who just jam like a 16:9 monitor in a traditional arcade. This is the kind of bracket they put there. That's what it reminded me of. But it might be totally fine, right? Like
Right.
100%.
Yeah. I'm sure it is if they're releasing it.
Yeah, Goofyfoot says, I'd rather it all be MDF, easier to mod. Yeah, might be 100%. None of those things really concern me, but there was a moment where I was a little bit more concerned. See if I can find I'm going to play it. My audio is going to get choppy, but see if we can see the screen better here. Yeah. Oh, no, of course, they nipped it out. So I'd have to go really slow. That's not even worth it. So here's where it gets a little bit concerning for me. So we get to the screen, and I know JT's here in the chat, and it's a 16:9 screen with, the majority of the 16:9 hidden by the bezel, and then the screen's playable area is going to be 19.5, and they've got some software there to add this kind of like arcade bezel to make it look like depth. And this is what got kind of funny for me as the picture went on. I'm looking at the bezel, and JP said, "Oh, it's just light reflecting." But do you notice anything here on the sides where the rest of the cab kind of like has that hidden 16:9 screen behind the bezel?
Yeah, it kind of seems like you can see through it almost, or like lights coming behind
Yeah,
it, right?
it looks like there's a lot of light bleed. So I mean, this is obviously video coming from the factory. People are going to argue back and forth on whether or not that's light bleed or whether or not that's lighting that's shining off the cabinet.
Yeah.
Like, I think, I mean, I can't confirm one way or another, but to me, that looks like it's light bleeding through. Like, a lot of other companies do this where they use a bezel to cover up the screen. But one of the big differences with that, like Quarter Arcades is one that does it. The Quarter Arcades material they're putting underneath the bezel is a hard plastic that's completely hiding the parts of the 16:9 screen. This is, a bezel with a sticker on it that's not very different from a lot of marquees companies use. And that's right over the screen. So unless it's black behind the screen, and even if it is black a little bit, if that bezel is very like light, you're still going to be able to see light bleed behind it. So as much as this video showed proof of life, I don't have as many other issues with the wood connecting the arcade. I don't have as many issues with the way the monitor's in there, the fact that it's not the case, the fact that it's held in with wooden brace like you would see in other arcade builds. It's the light bleed that really concerns me because, we are taking a concession here. This was originally supposed to come with a 19-inch BOE monitor. 100%. That's what people who bought the pre-order were sold it would come with. So the fact that they've switched over to a 16:9 screen now, you're already, taking it because of that, the switch in screen. But we were told not to worry because it's still going to look like it's a 19-inch BOE monitor. And you weren't even going to notice the 16:9 screen. But you can obviously notice it here. I just want to play this back. And I'm sorry for being so fixated on it, but it's a real problem for me. So there's a better look at it again.
Yeah, you could almost see the line down the side on the right hand side. I mean, the rest of the cabinet looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The marquee looks amazing. The light up coin door, a great feature. I mean, everything about it looks really, really good. Yeah, but oh geez, if the thing you're staring at and there's something like that is just sticking out, I don't know. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it's just some bad lighting and it's hard to say based off of video, but that's what it looks like.
I've been told that Iconic Arcade should have their hands on a production unit later on this week. So hopefully we get some updated looks at it, and hopefully it's not an issue. Like, there is fixes from the community we can do. Like, you can either get like a bezel from a third-party company, and you can even go like old school and just put some black tape over it. I'm hoping that it's simpler than that it's just a software emulation side where they can kind of block out that area where the light bleed's coming through and just be black, and hopefully it doesn't show. But right now, like, to me, this is a big issue. Like, other people might not care. They're like, I don't give a shit. But to me, that's like super distracting and like really frustrating. That's wild, right? How did nobody catch that?
Yeah, if you're staring, that's what, like I said, that's what you're looking at when you're playing the game. It would be very, very distracting.
Now, JT says that line goes top to bottom. I don't see it that way. I see it being a square where it comes out here and kind of stops right there, and then it comes out there and stops right there.
Exactly,
I don't know
what I see from at least from looking at it right now.
I don't see the light all the way down to the bottom.
No,
like
I
don't think it's a reflection.
It's just right on. It looks like it's coming right down the sides. Both
sides. You can see it right here. No light there, and it's just right there. So I'll play it again. Like that doesn't look like a reflection there because this remained consistent and that remained consistent throughout the video.
Yep, it's like an inch or two in on each side.
Nate says, we'll see, but I think, again, it's a non-final manufacturing sample. 16:9 screen doesn't matter at all if it's a quality panel and good bezel. I agree, but that's what we're asking. Is it a quality panel and good bezel? Something to kind of defend to Nate there as well. Like 19K Fox also pointed out, Eagle Eye back here, they did have a side panel for the Alpha Cab, which is supposed to have white trim. And this actually does not have white trim. This has black trim. So that raises another question. Like, we were sold that this was a built version of a production unit. So if it's not a built version of a production unit, were we lied to in the video?
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah. And there's some other stuff there that I agree with Devastator Omega. We still don't know how the UI works. We don't know how games work, anything like that. That's a big issue for 19K Fox and others, not necessarily me. I just watched the source vid, and the light doesn't move when the camera moves, so it's not a reflection. Thank you very much, Sean. Greatly appreciate that, brother. Like, to me, this is 100% light bleed on the cabinet. And I hope they can get it fixed before the production units go out. Or like Nate said, this is not a production unit, and we were told it was a production unit in the video, but it actually is not. Yes, I saw that. He posted that directly after 19K Fox mentioned it on his show last night. So anyways, that's it. That to me, other people might say, oh, that's really nitpicky, but to me, that's a major fail. If you're going with a 16:9 monitor, that something like that would happen. So I hope when Iconic gets their production unit, that this isn't an issue like it looks to be in this, and it can fix. So we'll see.
Yep.
All right, man. I've kept you here a lot longer than you probably intended, so I am so sorry. We just
got
okay. One little other thing to do, and I'm so sorry about this. Even though we did not hit our goal, just got to take this down off screen, bring us back up. Even though we did not hit our goal, guys, that's totally okay. We're 3 of 5 there. We did get a super chat from Stock Jock. I'm still upset you didn't like my duck hunt pick. I thought I mentioned that. We're 3 of 5. That's good enough for me. We're going to very quickly do the double down because I want to talk about this with Mike as a wrestling fan. We talked about it a little bit earlier. So WrestleFest Basic Fun. These were supposed to come out before Q4 2025. These were supposed to be in club stores. It was originally going to be $5.99 US. We think the price is going to go up probably by 30%, like what happened with the WrestleFest Basic Fun cab. Do you think they should still come out with it with all the problems and all the complaints people have made? Or do you think that turf it and bring something else out?
Boy, that's a tough one. I mean, I think they should just release it. I think a lot of people out there are interested in something that's more full size, that looks more arcade accurate. You know, the fact that it's a 4-player as opposed to 2. I think it would draw people in. Yeah, I mean, they already have it. They've got all this invested into it. You might as well just go for it, and I think it'll sell. I mean, I don't know if it would sell well, especially with a lot of the reviews that are going out there, but you got to look at it this way too. There's a lot of just people that aren't into it as deep as as all of us that would see something like this and think it's the coolest thing they've ever seen. So I say, you know what, just go for it if you're them.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I would say go for it if you're just for them, especially if you already have a sales order with these stores, because that's how you truly make your money. Yeah. A big order from a club store like Costco or Sam's Club, that could make you your money for the year. Like if someone ordered 10,000 of these WrestleFest cabs. So I 100% think they should go ahead and keep doing it. I think it's a bummer, though. I do hope that I hope there's some way to fix this, and eventually they can get the other guys through characters and maybe release updated ROMs of the game for the cab. That's wishful thinking. I don't fully think that'll happen. Just one second, Mike. I'm trying to get the Amazon page up so we can see the great images of it here. But so it's the only Supreme cab that it looks like they currently have in production or plan to do is the WrestleFest. There's nothing else on tail right now. So I think the challenge with it is, and why they should be cautious, is these stores don't mess around. So if they do release this and it comes out and then the fans don't like it and don't buy it, it could sour the relationship with the club store and prevent them from releasing any more. But how do you not take that money that's already there on the table, right?
Right. Yeah, that's why I think they should just, I mean, look at it. It stands out among all the rest of them, and I think it's a great looking cabinet. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, the cabinet looks great, right?
Yeah. Right. And if you're not that familiar with the game, if you're not like a diehard, maybe the fact that it was missing some characters wouldn't bother you all that much. I mean, yeah, to me, yes, that's a bummer that Sergeant Slaughter's not going to be in it and the Legion of Doom's not going to be in it. But as you kind of hinted at earlier, maybe there may be a way to get them back in it. Hopefully, wishful thinking that something may happen where you can have an arcade accurate ROM in it.
Well, of course, there is a way to do it with the Ultra Cab. Thanks to our friends at Buy Stuff Arcade, they've come out with a WrestleFest mod for the Ultra Cab. It's a hardware mod, so it's a gut mod. You're replacing everything, but they even include like stickers, a deck protector, so it's great. So go check out Buy Stuff Store if you want to get the Ultra. Hopefully they can do it with the Supreme Cab. But one of the things I think a lot of people in the community were hoping for, and I mean, obviously this is one of the arcades I truly wanted to get. I always dreamed of getting, but I wanted it to be done right. Even with these concessions, still have my eye on the Supreme as something I'll be interested in. No idea if it's going to come to Canada, but we always had in the back of our mind, we were hoping that Team Encoder would possibly get their hands on this and fix this for us, like they did with so many other games. They fixed the Dragon's Lair issue. They fixed the Blitz late hits and all that stuff, right? They made Blitz fantastic. So could Team Encoder possibly do something cool with this to make it work, to make it worthwhile, to add those characters back and give you those features we're missing? I actually have a little bit of an update. Mike, would you be interested in finding out whether or not Team Encoder will be modding this?
I would love to find out, yes.
It's still a maybe, but they had a setback. One of Team Encoder actually picked up the Countercade WrestleFest and started messing around with that to see if it was possible to mod. So this is obviously not the Ultra Cab. They haven't touched that, but they started with the Countercade because the Countercade obviously is affordable, $200. So they picked up a Countercade and they could not mod it. They got really frustrated, could not get it to work. It was sideways. And this is the thing that should concern people. They thought that maybe it was just an issue with the specific PCB. So they reached out to Basic Fun and said, hey, I'm having problems with my WrestleFest. Can I get another PCB from you? I'll buy it. And they said, no, you can't buy one from us. Just return it. So that's the other thing to be scared about. Even if they could come out with a software mod, and even if you don't software mod them, we know these PCBs don't always last forever. A lot of people have had issues with overheating, with breaking. If this is a going thing from Basic Fun and they don't have replacement PCBs, that's a big red flag for buying their products. Huge red flag.
Yep. And I'll say Arcade 1-Up, that's the one thing, at least in their earlier days, I had issues with an Outrun PCB, and at least there was parts available, and I didn't have a dead cabinet after a year that I spent, $600-700 on. That would be huge. If you were to find out that there were no replacement parts and you're going to spend $800 or whatever these things are going to, the asking price is going to be, I probably wouldn't invest in one. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I mean, people are still buying like older PCBs for discontinued cabs. Like they had a really good parts store, so it was a little bit concerning not hearing that. So going back to the mystery team encoder side, I almost said it was mystery encoder because it wasn't mystery encoder that actually did this. So basically, an update on where they are with the WrestleFest mod. It's stalled. Basically, this individual, once he found out he couldn't get a replacement PCB, decided just to take it back and is kind of given up on it now. So that doesn't mean it's not coming out, but I would not look for this cab or the Ultra Cab to be modded anytime in the near future. So if you are considering this and you're thinking, well, Mystery Encoder is going to fix everything, I wouldn't 100% bet on that. You might be looking at spending the $250 US to do the gut mod through Buy Stuff Store. So a little bit of bad news for you. So there you go. Nate UT, you might be 100% right. I'm just relaying the information I was given. They'll send you a new unit. That's a possibility. What they were told actually was you weren't out of luck, but they just said, just return it. We don't have any replacement parts. So they will send you a new unit, but we're asking more along the lines, if they don't have those replacement PCBs to buy and this machine's out of warranty, what do you do then? That's the question.
Yeah, because you don't want to have a dead cab in 2 years or 3 years. And like you said, these things inevitably are they're going to crap out eventually. And
they all do eventually.
Yeah.
I've been lucky. I haven't had it yet, but
same. I've had a few issues, but they've been resolved, and so far so good. Knock on wood and all that. But
anyways, I will tell you something now, Mike, that'll probably surprise you. Despite all the issues, despite the missing characters, despite the fact that the artwork's not right, all the other problems with it, the fact that it's probably even going to be more expensive when it comes out, I still want the WrestleFest XL. I'm not going to lie. The WrestleFest Supreme Cab, I want it.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know if I'm actually going to get it, but when I was excited when I heard that this was one of the ones they were coming out with. And I think I even said it earlier, I could accept the watered down version just because I wasn't just such a diehard of the game. But it would look fantastic. Yes, I would love the WWF logo, but I think everybody knew that wasn't going to be the case. It couldn't be the case. And we all kind of suspected that maybe, are they going to be able to get all the licenses? Because that was a huge challenge to go in right off the bat to try to acquire all those licenses to those wrestlers. But I don't know, we'll see what the price is like and how things turn out with parts and things like that. I mean, it's still something that I could have room in my game room for something like that.
I also have problems, Mike, and I really like the bigger XL arcades, and it's been 2 years, maybe more, since I've got one. So problems, Mike, problems. Yeah, but I don't like to go on a negative. So this did come in while we were doing the show tonight. So I just did want to give people a heads up. Keep your eye out because basically the Brick here in Canada did release the first retail ad for the new Star Wars Return of the Jedi Basic Fun Cab. This is also one that's on my periphery, also one I'm considering getting because I dearly, dearly miss my Star Wars cab, even though I don't like that they haven't created the original cab over. I do like the artwork. I love the big marquee. I love the games list on this. I even like the Return of the Jedi game, even though admittedly it's the worst game on that cabinet. Yeah. I love Return of the Jedi. Like, love it. And like, there is a uniqueness to this. This is one I'm possibly going to dive in on Basic Fun for. So, any interest on this one, Mike?
No, the only reason is because I have my original arcade up Star Wars. So I really, there's no extras on this other than the artwork look, but I would prefer the original artwork over this anyways. So no, this is a no-go for me.
I would still like to get a Star Wars.
If I didn't have one, I would be definitely interested in this.
Yeah, and now with Basic Fun getting it, this is the only game in town. We don't know. That's the weird thing about this. I'll go back to WrestleFest really quickly for a second. For people saying WrestleFest isn't exactly what I wanted, that may be fair. But if you're determined to get a WrestleFest, It's probably the only chance that it's going to be down.
That's
now
all you're going to get.
Now, Vex Sentinel, you got to be careful. You got to remember, I'm from Canada, so this is in Canada dollars. So the price point in the US will be $5.99, probably with a discount code. So it'll be $4.99 initially if you guys are interested in picking it up. Here in Canada, it's $6.99, which is actually a little bit of a cost savings compared to the US. We actually get a little bit better because we don't have that 30% tariff that you guys in the US are facing right now with goods coming from China. So when you do the conversion on this works out to like four something. I can't remember. It might be $4.99 on the dot. But you guys, the regular price on these is $5.99 because of that 30% tariff, right? But hopefully you get it for $4.99 with the initial 30% coupon. But yeah, this is one. I would much rather have Star Wars. I will tell you, I'm also worried that there will be an XL that comes out of this down the line. So that makes me scared too. So this is one I've got my eye on. This is one that this may be my first basic fun purchase. We'll see.
Yeah. And don't sleep on Return of the Jedi. You know, I
love Return of the Jedi.
Like the other two, yes, they're probably better, but yeah. I never played Return of the Jedi before the arcade went up, and I was like, this game's not. I mean, at first I was like, well, it's hard to get used to, but once you start getting used to it, it's very addicting.
Very addicting, very fun, and like when you reach the end of the stage, and like all the people are celebrating that you got to the base. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, very underrated.
That's the thing, Nate. We don't know if it's coming out, if it's a Supreme. We don't know what the price is on the Supreme. Love to get more information. It's one of those challenges. Like, do I jump in at the Ultra or do I wait for the Supreme? And I don't want to be in the upgrade that early of, say this comes out next month. I buy the Ultra. Then the Supreme comes out like 2 months later. I'm going to be so mad at myself if I bought the Ultra, because then I'm going to be like, now I got to sell this to try to get the Supreme. So it's tough, right? It's tough. Anyways, just show you that. I want to say a huge thank you once again to Bad Guy Mike Worley for being on here. Mike,
thank you.
You want to tell people a little bit about your channel, what you do there, and why people should check you out, and most importantly, why they should check out Nostalgia Strikes Back?
Sure, yeah. So I'm obviously a big retro gamer. Love the arcades, the home consoles, anything 80s, 90s era. I'm all about it. Same with it just doesn't. I'm not limited to just video games. I mean, we go into movies and TV shows and cartoons and all this and that. And yes, we do a bi-weekly live stream called Nostalgia Strikes Back. We are having one this Saturday. It's going to be our Halloween special. So we're going to be talking about all the old slasher movies and all those great movies from the 80s. And yeah, so it should be a good one. So if you grew up in the 80s watching the old slasher movies, we're going to be talking about those, some of the video games that were popular during that time, and maybe some of the newer video games that have been coming out that are horror or in that type of genre. So yeah, that'll be this Saturday at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Nostalgia Strikes Back. Yeah, on my channel. Panel, great group of people. Yeah, it's a good time.
Speaking of one of your guests, I got another super chat here from Stock Jock. You didn't have to do that, brother. $5 super chat. This show was actually pretty good, despite Mike B's NES picks. No duck hunt means no good list. Damn you, Stock Jock. I'm excited to see it this Saturday. I'm a huge nerd for 80s horror movies. Like, that's my favorite. I've been struggling lately to. I've been trying to watch a lot of modern horror, but I can't. Like, 80s is my sweet spot.
They're not the same.
I watched the other night. I watched. This will really throw it out there for you. It was big in Canada, especially in the rental stores, because they had such cool covers, but they were terrible movies. Have you ever seen the Witchcraft series?
No, I have not.
Oh, you are missing out. If you want to watch some of the worst movies ever made, there's actually like 17 of them now. I was talking to Goofyfoot about it the other day. They still make them to this day. The original one, even though it's not widely publicized, was actually made by Troma, the same people that made like Toxic Avenger. It was made by Lloyd Kaufman, and the first movie plays it more straight. It's a straightforward horror movie, but after that, they just got sluttier and sluttier. And like the girls on camera, like it's basically just like really.
That's part of the genre too. You know, the old slasher horror. They always gotta have the adult undertone.
So we went from Witchcraft. We went from Witchcraft 1, which was just like a straightforward horror movie, and it was okay. Like, it wasn't great, but the second one comes right out of the gates. It's got that cool Witchcraft logo because they all have the same logo on the front, and it's amazing. But the second one told you it wasn't messing around. The second one was called Witchcraft 2: The Temptress. And let me just see if I can pull up this movie cover for you. Of course, I already said goodbye, and now I'm doing this stuff, right? Because I can't help myself because I get excited.
I'm curious. I need to see this.
Oh man, I had many fantastic views of this cover as I walked by the horror section. Witchcraft 2 cover. Let's see if I can find it.
And there's 17 of these movies. And when did they start making these? The 80s?
88. First one was in 88.
Goodness.
Yeah. So let me save image as, and this is the DVD version, so it's not exactly the. See if I. Oh, here it is. There we go. This is. I'll show you now. Oh my God, this cover is so good, but they get smuttier and smuttier after this. Like, it is ridiculous. But yeah, let me just pull this up.
I might have to ask the Nostalgia Strikes Back guys on Saturday if any of them are familiar with this.
Witchcraft 2? Oh, the Witchcraft
any
series.
Of the Witchcraft. Yeah, the Witchcraft.
Oh, it's
movies.
so horrible. So here's a really grainy picture of it. This is Witchcraft 2: The Temptress. And they tell you right out of the gates, look at those boobs. We're not messing around with this
You
one.
know what you're getting into.
All these movies are currently on Tubi. Unfortunately, Witchcraft 2 isn't there. Unfortunately, Witchcraft 2 isn't there. So it shoots from Witchcraft 1 to Witchcraft 3. And I said, well, that's some bullshit.
Yeah,
no Witchcraft 2, no buy. I also got to do the poll results, which I always forget. Thank you very much, Jason Little Alien, for reminding me. I don't even know why I run polls. I'm an idiot.
I do.
But
I've ended so many streams without finishing the poll. Yeah, I'm the same exact way.
So I put the poll up 3 hours ago, 138 votes. Has Iconic Arcade made you more comfortable with your pre-order with this build video they put out? So coming in last place, no, it has raised more concerns. So people like me who look at that bezel and be like, holy shit, that's a problem. Actually, in the minority, people don't really care about it. That hasn't become a problem. So coming in at number 3 at 24% is yes, looks great. People are comfortable with it. Coming in second place, just a narrow margin, 25%, undecided still. And here's the surprising one. Coming in the number 1 spot, 44% was never going to buy it in the first place.
That is surprising that it's that many. I was in the 25% on that one, undecided still.
Yeah, I'm not undecided. I almost bought it a while ago, but I was talked out of it by Restalgia and 19K Fox. Kind of regretting it now because I also know when the pre-order is going back up for Iconic Arcade in December, shortly before it comes out. It'll be on Spreetail first and then on Amazon afterwards. But the price is also going up. So I'm not super happy with being talked out of it. I don't know. Anyways, Mike, thank you so much for being here. I kept you way longer than I should have. I am so sorry.
That's okay.
Enjoy the rest of your night, brother. And I'll be tuning in Saturday for Nostalgia Power. Look for me to be throwing all kinds of like random 80s slasher and horror movies your way, trying to catch you off guard. So
that's great. No, that's what we're all about. We're heavily involved with the chat. You know, we encourage it.
Yeah, and I encourage you guys come along too because I am going to try to stump them. Like for example, what's the worst Howling movie?
Howling movie?
The Howling. That's another horror franchise that doesn't get enough love, and there's some real bad ones.
Oh God. How many of them are there?
Oh, I think there's 8 in total. 7 or 8 that I know for sure.
That must have been a thing they did back then, huh? Whenever they just milked the franchise for all it was worth. I mean, and even beyond, because even some of the well-known ones like the Friday the 13th, how ridiculous they, Jason and takes Manhattan. Like, are you serious? Like, all right, well, I know.
Well, that was totally the producer's fault. Everything had to trump the last one. They didn't understand. Just make the same movie over again. Everybody would have been happy with it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's what I want you to do. Everybody shits on Howling 2. Your sister is a werewolf. But there's some real top-notch nudity in that, especially from Sybil Danning, the star. The real worst movie in the Howling series that I insist you watch, and honestly, I hope everybody watches it because it's so bad, is Howling 3, the Marsupials. It's werewolves, except in Australia, and they're not wolves.
For God's sakes. They're like platypus or something?
They're marsupials. Look it up. Howling 3, the Marsupials. Worst horror movie I've ever watched in my life.
This at?
I've got it on DVD, so but I'm sure you check out Meatball Saucy. He'll hook you up.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out. Sorry for keeping you so long. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night. This has been Chillin' Chat with Michael B. Good night, everybody. Damn it, Bill, you take that back. Halloween 3 is a national treasure.